Joey Charles Molland was an English songwriter and rock guitarist whose recording career spanned 5 decades. He was best known as a member of Badfinger, the most successful of the acts he performed with. Following the death of Mike Gibbons in October 2005, Moland was the last surviving member from the band's classic lineup before his own death almost 20 years later. Moland's recording career began in earnest in 1967 when he joined Gary Walker, formerly of the Walker Brothers, for the group Gary Walker and The Rain. The Rain released several singles, an EP, and an album on the Polydor and Philips labels in the UK and Japan between 1967 and 1969. Title number 1. The album featured 4 Moland songs and was especially well received in Japan, but a lack of success in their UK home base caused the band to disband by 1969. Moland joined Badfinger as guitarist in 1969. During Moland's association with Apple, he made guest appearances on 2 George Harrison albums, All Things Must Pass and The Concert for Bangladesh, and the 1971 John Lennon album, Imagine, including the single Jealous Guy, released in 1985. Moland left Badfinger in late 1974 due to disagreements over management. In 1975, he joined with Jerry Shirley, formerly of Humble Pie, and formed a group called Natural Gas. The band released their self-titled album on Private Stock Records in 1976 and enjoyed a successful tour with Peter Frampton the following year. According to Moland, a general lack of organization led to the band's demise late in 1977. Moland and former Badfinger bandmate Tom Evans recorded 2 albums under the Badfinger name, Airwaves in 1979 and Say No More in 1981. He and Evans split after Saying No More, and the two performed in rival touring Badfinger bands until Evans' suicide in 1983. Moland's solo recordings were well received. His first, After the Pearl, was released in 1983 on Tone Records. His second, The Pilgrim, was released in 1992 on Rykodisc. His third, This Way Up, was independently released in 2001. His 2013 album, Return to Memphis, was released on December 13th. His last album, Be True to Yourself, on Omnivore Recordings was released July 12, 2021, featuring the single Rainy Day Man. Moland went back into the studio in 2015 with members of 10,000 Maniacs, Ladies First, to release a new version on the classic song, Sweet Tuesday Morning, from Badfinger's 1972 album Straight Up. In late 2019, Moland toured with Todd Rundgren, Jason Scheff, Mickey Dolenz, and Christopher Cross in celebration of the Beatles' self-titled double album. Under the banner, It Was 50 Years Ago Today, a tribute to the Beatles' White Album. Moland performed the Badfinger songs Baby Blue and No Matter What. He continued to tour under the name Joey Molland's Badfinger. Moland was married to his wife Katrine Kathy Lee, who was a native of Minnesota from 1972 until her death in 2009. They had 2 sons. At the time of his death in March 2025, Moland was in a long-time relationship with a woman named Mary. By late 2024, Moland faced serious health issues, with his girlfriend, Mary, stating on Facebook on December 8th, Joey is in the ICU, a higher-level ICU than when we were admitted. He is battling multiple fronts right now, but seems more comfortable. Thankfully, they have not had to resort to a ventilator. The exact details of what happened or what he was diagnosed have not been disclosed. Moland died on March 1st, 2025. He was 77 years old.